Hello, in this video we're going to talk about Algebra 1, or level K. S.5, find a missing coordinate using slope. First thing that you need to know is the slope formula, which is m equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay, m stands for slope. So a question that you will see is a line with a slope of 10 passes through the points -2, 10, and -3, t. What is the value of t? Okay, so here we are given the slope, which we know as m, and a full point and half of the other point. The first thing that I do is write out what everything means. So I have m equals 10. I have x1 equal -2, y1 equals 10, x2 equals -3, and y2 equals t. So we don't know what t is. I'd then like to highlight what I'm filling in for the formula. So m equals 10, x1 is -2, y1 is 10, x2 is -3, and then y2 is our t. I then substitute each color into the formula. So I would have 10 equals our y2 is t, minus our y1 is 10, divided by our x2 is -3, and our x1 is a -2. Make sure you put a parenthesis around -2 because you have a minus sign, and a minus and a negative, you need to keep them separated. So if I were to simplify, I still would have 10 equals t minus 10, -3 minus -2 is a -1. Now, if we're looking, we see that it is an equation, and it's a linear equation, and we can solve it by multiplying by -1 over 1. These cancel. Multiply this by -1, and you will get -10 equals t minus 10. Our next step is to isolate the t, or get the t by itself. Add 10 on both sides, that cancels. Add 10, those cancel. Actually, they don't cancel. -10 plus 10 is 0. So we get 0 equals t. And that would be your answer. If you wanted to check, you could do the slope formula again. So we would have, oh no, I just did all this work. You guys did not see it. There you go. So let me go over that again. I did 10 equals t minus 10, negative 3 minus negative 2. Negative 3 minus negative 2 is negative 1. To get rid of the negative 1, I multiplied by negative 1 both sides. Negative 1 times 10 is negative 10 equals t minus 10. We need to isolate t, add a 10 on both sides. Negative 10 plus 10 is 0, 0 equals t. So to check that, we have 10 equals 0 minus 10, negative 3 minus negative 2. So this would be 10 equals negative 10 over negative 1. 10 equals 10. So that checks out. So let's do a harder question. Instead of writing out the full question, what I'm going to do is just write the values that are given. So here we have m equals y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, and the values given are m equals negative 1/3, and then we have negative 6, 9, and v, negative 8. So I will assign a color to each number and variable within. So our m is negative 1/3. Where x1, which is negative 6, is x1. Our y1, which is 9, is orange. Our x2 is going to be v, and our y2 is going to be negative 8. So now I substitute each number into the formula. So we will have negative 1/3 equals negative 8 minus 9 divided by v minus negative 6. So v minus negative 6, that's really v plus 6. So I'm going to multiply both sides by v plus 6 over 1. Okay, because the v plus 6 and the v plus 6 is the denominator, they cancel out. So v plus 6 times 1 is v plus 6. And then 1 times 3 is 3. So we have a negative equals negative 8 minus 9. That is negative 17. Now here, I'm going to multiply by a negative 3. So these cancel. And I get v plus 6 equals 3 times 17 is 51. I subtract 6. My answer is V equals 45. So to check my answer, I'm going to plug it back in. So I would have negative 1/3 equals negative 8 minus 9, and then 45 minus negative 6. So I have negative 1/3 equals negative 17 over 51. And 17 goes into 17 once. So if I divide by 17, I would get negative 1 over 3. And that checks out. Okay, so the harder questions, you will have a fraction as a slope. Just make sure you are sure with your fractions when you are solving equations. That's the end of this video. Good luck.